Hey, it's Meatball.
And Mark.
And this is the Rocker Morning Show on demand from 107.7 RKR. 107.7 RKR. It is the Rocker Morning Show with Meatball.
And Mark Frankhouse.
What's up, buddy? How are you?
Great. How are you?
Fantastic. I slept like a baby last night.
Nice.
Like, it was one of those sleeps where, like, you wake up when your alarm goes off and, like, your jaw is practically dislocated and...
That doesn't sound comfortable.
Well, it wasn't when I woke up, but man, when I was asleep, I had no ideas. I felt great.
That's good.
I was dead to the world last night. It was wonderful. What about you? What'd you get up to?
Nothing. Not a whole lot. Just, took it easy, man.
All right. That's not bad. I like a good slow night.
We're coming up on the end of the Rocker rides and, we're getting into fall and... So I'm taking it a little bit easier. It was a busy summer for me.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Very true. Yeah, you had a lot going on. I took it easy last night too. I had some other, work and projects and stuff I do at home, for some other things. But, I ended up, getting DoorDash for dinner last night from, Hopcat.
Okay.
And I was, stoked for it. I was ready for it to come in. And, on DoorDash, how you can like message your DoorDasher for certain things and stuff. So I'm messaging my DoorDasher and I was like, hey, just make sure you grab utensils, that kind of thing. Because every once in a while they forget. And she was like, yeah, no problem, hun.
Okay.
What? My DoorDasher called me hun. Is that weird?
Not really.
Yeah?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, it depends on the kind of person.
Yeah.
A lot of people will call people hun. I think that's just...
I mean, I don't know. I very clearly don't know this person. This is also kind of like supposed to be a semi-professional kind of exchange. Like, you don't think that's weird?
No.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of people call people hun. A lot of women call people hun if they're like, mom age.
Yeah.
Like the typical like late 30s, maybe up to early 50s.
Okay.
Call people hun.
I guess I do get it a little bit like when I go visit family and stuff in the South. Like when I go to Tennessee and stuff, I get that maybe a little more there. But yeah, it was odd to get that in a message from somebody on a delivery app. They were like, okay, hun. I went, what?
Right. Oh, I mean, it would have been a little weird if they followed up like, you eating this with anybody tonight? Then I would have been like, no.
Yeah.
Maybe a little concerned there.
Have you ever had like a service industry person do something like that?
Like, at times through the drive-thru, like, okay, pull around, hun, or something like. Yeah. That's just the part of their vocabulary, you know?
Okay. I wondered if maybe I was just getting, because I ordered DoorDash so much from home. Like
crack fries. He sounds hot. Like that.
Well, now you got me wondering, Mark.
107.7 RKR. It's the Rocker Morning Show with Mark Frankhouse.
And Meatball.
I have been saying this for a long time, but I really honestly feel like Michigan is the best state to live in during fall. That could be an argument could be made about maybe like Maine, because my parents have been to Maine before. They said just gorgeous during the fall. But I personally feel like Michigan, like this state has got to be the best for living in fall for like a ton of different reasons. I've got here on the 107.7 RKR app a bunch of those reasons, particularly because you can literally do a state tour of fall colors.
Oh, okay.
And see them all in peak color. Like all of them in their peak. You could go throughout the entire state and see them in their peak and not worry about like being too late. Because we actually have like stages where our peak colors are. So like depending on where you're at, it basically starts in like the Upper Peninsula on the west side of the state. And that starts like early October. And the farther you move south, the dates get extended. So it basically runs from like October through the end of October. So it's like beginning to the end. So like you could literally start at the, like where I was at a few years ago, like Iron River near like the Porcupine Mountains. And that's where their peak colors are. And then just move your way east and then see the east side of the Upper Peninsula, move your way down and just see them all at their peak colors, man.
Can you imagine if like you did like a walking tour, a biking tour, and you just kind of followed that line of it as it was all changing and transitioning, through the state? That'd be fun.
I wish I was rich so I could do something fun like that. Yes. That's exactly it, man. So you literally can see the entire state in peak colors, which is nice because where we're at geographically, it allows for that transition to happen.
Yeah.
So it's not all at once. Another thing too is like cider mills. Like, have you been to a cider mill here yet?
I have not made it.
Whoa,
I know we have
okay.
a couple around here that are very, very good. I need to make my way out there.
Yes. Yeah, I'm going to personally see to it. I will drive you. If I must.
You're going to drive me out. You're going to abduct me after work one day and go to a cider mill?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm down with that.
Best friends.
Best friends.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, fall is like super special. And there's so many cider mills. Like, there's hundreds of cider mills in Michigan that have really close ties to their communities, which is huge too. Like, where I grew up on the east side of the state, Yates Cider Mill is it's one of the oldest in the state. But it's just iconic, and there's so many out here too. Mm-hmm. And not only that, but just like the U-Pick, not only the apple orchards, but the pumpkin patches as well. That's another thing that, like, these farmers do so much for the state. And then when it's like fall season, the pumpkins are good to go. And like, that is like just a Michigan tradition. I know it's a tradition everywhere, but like Michigan's super special. I want to know from you guys, 978-1077. I want you to hit me up. Let me know what your favorite spots are to do pumpkin picking and cider mills, because Meatball needs some suggestions here.
I do. I need some suggestions. The thing I have noticed too, though, is like with fall in Michigan, you're talking about like the apples and the pumpkins and stuff.
Right.
The nice thing is that kind of stuff is actually sourced here, whereas like a lot of other parts of the country, it's like you get it for November and October and stuff. But it's also like been shipped there from Michigan or somewhere else, so it's already like half gone. So,
right.
You try to carve your jack-o'-lantern and you put your knife into it and it's already half gone. You're just like, oh, this is very disappointing.
Yeah, there's nothing like going through like a U-Pick apple orchard and just snatching an apple off a tree and chowing on it. And just like, oh man, especially when they're ripe and they're good to go.
Yeah.
And just enjoying that cider. I will say most of the cider here is unpasteurized, Meatball. So if you ever feel like a little backed up, they'll take care. Have to get super blue. But
thanks for that, man. Yeah.
You got it. But 978-1077, Meatball needs some suggestions. Got a call coming in now. Let us know where your go-to pumpkin patch and cider mill is so we can treat Meatball to some goods.
Well, apparently you need to help my backup too. Like, what the hell, man?
Maybe.
It's time to turn up your dials and tune out the traffic because we're playing the Daily 5 on the Rocker Morning Show. Testing the mental magnitude of your favorite morning monkeys on the radio. And now, your hosts for the Daily 5, Meatball and Mark Frank House.
It is the Daily 5 where Mark and I ask each other questions. The other one answers. Today, I'm asking the questions. Mark is answering. Mark, you got some help on the line today from Bob. Good morning, Bob. How are you?
Good morning, guys. How you doing today?
We're doing great, Bob. You got to help me get 3 out of 5 questions correct. If you do, we'll take a 2-1 lead. If not, Meatball will take the 2-1 lead.
All right. Here we go. Question number 1. This is just general knowledge. The Steel Dragon in Japan is the world's longest roller coaster. It has an initial 307-foot drop and reaches speeds of 95 miles an hour. How long is the Steel Dragon? Is it 1 mile, 1.5 miles, or 3 miles long?
Jeez.
I don't know. They got things that are pretty fast. Maybe. What do you think, Mark?
I don't know. I'm almost thinking like we go big on this one.
I'm good with that.
I think Japan, they're known for big stuff. They got the biggest bowling alley. So what do you think? Go 3 miles? I mean, that seems...
I'm saying, yeah, let's do it.
Seems a bit long, but I'll be surprised. It could be 1.5, but we'll stick with 3 miles long, Meatball.
All right. Final answer?
Yes.
All right. I like how you made the comparison of roller coasters and bowling lanes.
Yes. I don't know.
3 miles. Final answer. No. It's half that. It's still 1.5 mile long roller coaster, man.
That's crazy.
That is ridiculous.
That's 1.5 miles that I won't be visiting.
Yeah. Question number 2. This is animals. What is the only breed of feline that does not have retractable claws? Is it the cheetah, the lynx, or the Savannah cat?
I would think the cheetah did.
Yeah.
The lynx, I'm not real sure of.
Yeah, I don't know too much about the other two.
Keeping in mind, like...
Savannah cat.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Keeping in mind, these cats got to stay quiet. So, like, if they got nails out, they'd just be click, 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 if they're walking on the linoleum or something.
Yeah, there's a lot of linoleum out there in the wild.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, Bob, I don't know. Maybe it is the lynx. I
could go with you.
Yeah, I have no idea. I guess let's go with lynx. Final answer.
Going lynx. Final answer. Not a lot of linoleum out in Africa where the cheetah is. They're the only species that does not have retractable claws.
Gotcha.
I guess it gets better grip.
I think I know where this is headed. Let's keep rolling.
Okay. Question number 3. This is entertainment. In Star Wars, what color is Jedi Master Mace Windu's lightsaber? Is it orange, blue, or purple?
Oh, Mace Windu's Sam Jackson, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's purple. That's like the first time the purple lightsaber ever showed up.
Right, I'm good with that because I have no clue.
Yeah, purple. Final answer.
Purple. Final answer. Sam Jackson wants a purple lightsaber. You give him a purple lightsaber.
Give purple
nice
lightsaber.
job, Mark.
Am I still headed in the same direction you thought I was?
Not you in particular, just in general.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Question number 4. This is another general knowledge question. On a sailing vessel, what is a spinnaker? Is it a weather detecting device, a type of sail, or a device used for deep sea fishing?
Spinnaker.
Yes.
You said a weather
like detecting device?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You think that's too obvious of a one right there, Mark? The spinnaker?
I don't know. And then you said a sail and then a deep sea device?
A device used for deep sea fishing, yes.
I would say either 1 or 3.
Yeah. You know what? I kind of, my instinct actually went to weather, as silly as it sounds. Spinnaker.
I was thinking too.
Okay, if you're cool with it, I say weather detecting device. What do you think about that, Bob?
Let's do it.
All right, weather detecting, final answer.
Weather detecting, final answer. The spinnaker on a sailing vessel is... There we go. The button didn't want to go. It is a type of sail. It's the one, if you're going directly in the direction of the wind, it's the one that pops up right in the middle and just catches all the wind.
Gotcha.
Yep.
I did not know that. I'm not a seaman. Unfortunately.
You were.
I was once, but that was a long time ago. Anyway, Bob, we couldn't get the point for today. Meatball goes up 2-1, but you are getting a pair of tickets to the NSRA Street Rod National North Show. Congratulations, man.
Thanks, bud. I appreciate you guys.
Hey, no problem. We appreciate you, brother.
.1077 RKR, it is the Rock and Morning Show with Meatball.
And Mark Frankhouse.
So we now know that at least some, if not all, of the vacant building fires that have been happening this summer were actually the result of one man in Kalamazoo. We had a serial arsonist in town.
Wow.
Kalamazoo public safety officers arresting George Horace Stannard, a 32-year-old man from Kalamazoo last week, for his involvement in several arson fires, including the one that took that building that's across the parking lot from Hopcat. Mm-hmm. I always thought that would look kind of cool as like a bar, but I guess not anymore. He had allegedly been setting fires all across town since June, and they are now charging him with at least 8 counts of arson, 2 counts of aggravated arson, since in a couple of those fires, firefighters were hurt. And during his arraignment, some video has come out from that. He is absolutely weeping about the charges because he was, I guess he was told that nobody got hurt. They were all vacant buildings and where he was lighting the fires, which I guess he thought made a difference. This is like, I thought
he was weeping because nobody got hurt.
That was in the video that's on the 1077 RKR app. Like you can see him like very, very upset. And he was like, I was told nobody was hurt. Like, that's what he's saying.
Oh, okay. I thought you said he was weeping because nobody got hurt.
No.
Oh,
sorry.
okay,
God. Yeah. Misunderstood.
Good
Sorry.
Lord, what a psycho.
No. Well, it's still weird, though. Like, you're just walking around town lighting vacant buildings on fire. Like, come on. That's weird. That's just weird. But he was lighting these vacant buildings on fire. And then come to find out, he was hanging around to watch at least some of them burn before authorities showed up to put them out. And then one of them, he's the one who called the cops.
Wow.
So he goes, he sets the fire, goes across the street, calls the cops and says, hey, man, there's a building on fire. You should probably come get that. And then he just walked into like a party store after that. What the hell, man?
Wow.
Like, is this seriously one of the dumbest or most ridiculous arsonist stories you've ever heard?
Is it? So when he got arrested, he didn't like get arrested by calling the cops, right? So I was like, maybe this is one of those.
I don't think it was that call that he got arrested on. I think he got arrested after the last one, the building across from Hobcat. That's my understanding on this.
Okay. Because
one of the other ones is the one he called the cops on.
I was going to say, maybe it was one of those things where it's like, after this case of beer, I'm done drinking, but I'm going to finish these beers.
After this fire, I'm done setting fires. But after this fire.
But I got gasoline and a lighter, and I don't want to let it go to waste because, I got to take advantage of these low gas prices. So,
yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good. I'm just glad that they finally have an answer because it was like over and over again. I know one of the buildings that recently went up was built at I think it was like the late 1800s or something.
That was the one in the parking lot there at Hobcat. That building had been moved before.
Yeah.
And it was. So you can read more on this now on the 1077 RKR app and at WRKR.com. I'm really bummed that he did this. I'm glad, other than the couple of firefighters that sustained some injuries, that for the most part everyone's okay. But it does suck that he did this because now inevitably, when my rent goes up next year and I can't afford to live in my apartment complex anymore, my plans for finding an empty house and just squatting there until somebody finds me now severely diminished.
Hey, Rocker Morning Show. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing good, Bob. What's up?
Hey, don't worry. If you lose your apartment, you can always live behind a Lowe's sign on the top of their building.
That's a good idea.
That is fantastic.
Right?
This is Kalamazoo's Rock Station, 1077 WRKR and WRKR HD1, Portage, Battle Creek, Kalamazoo, a Town Square media station.
Seen Junior's grave.
your soundtrack for summer in Southwest Michigan. 107.7 RKR.
.77 RKR. It's a Rocker Morning Show with Mark Frankhouse.
And Meatball.
So there's a place where people can see James Earl Jones one more time and kind of pay homage to him. So, Meatball, I don't know if you recall us talking about this. There was a statue that was recently erected in the town of Brethren of James Earl Jones. Do you remember that?
Vaguely, yeah.
It's in Manistee County. It's northwest of here. It turns out you can not only pay homage to him, but also his mentor. And we spoke to a caller yesterday who kind of touched on the fact that James Earl Jones had terrible stuttering problem.
Yeah.
It plagued him basically his entire childhood. And it was through the help of his mentor. His name was Donald Crouch. And he's basically being credited as being a major contributor to Jones's stage acting, but also helping him overcome that stuttering issue that he had. James said in an interview, he basically was mute from grade 1 to high school. He was like grade 1 to grade 9. He said, I was basically mute because I'd given up on speaking. And it wasn't until he had partnered with his former instructor, Donald Crouch, until we kind of talked about he started reading poetry, which is kind of how he got over his stuttering, and then eventually just completely overcame it because of him.
Yeah, that a little bit of the audio that we ran yesterday was from an interview where he was talking about Donald Crouch, and he said, I was in high school and I was in a writing class and I was writing, poetry and stuff, and Donald Crouch basically pulled him aside and said, do you like the words that you're writing? Do you like what you're writing? Do you like what you hear in your head when you write this stuff? Well, why don't you put it out there? Why don't you speak it? Why don't you put it into the air? And that's what got him to start doing that. And excuse me, by doing that, it's the same kind of concept of like, somebody who has a stutter or some kind of speech impediment or even a really thick accent, something as simple as a thick accent. Mm-hmm. You put certain things in front of them and it goes away, like singers in particular.
Right.
You put a song in front of them and that accent or that stutter or whatever speech impediment they have will go away because there's, they're focused on specifically how to perform what's in front of them. And James Earl Jones was able to do that with his poetry and Donald Crouch. And it's such an incredible, amazing story.
Yeah. So this statue of not only James Earl Jones, but the instructor, Crouch, are actually up in front of a school.
That's cool.
In the city and in Brethren, and you can actually visit it. So a little bit different here, but 978-1077, I'm actually curious if anybody listening now has a family member who struggles with stuttering, can offer any tips to other families who may be listening. Hit us up at 978-1077 on how to kind of overcome their struggle. If nothing else, the speech at the statue's commemoration from the school superintendent, his name is Jacob Veith, says a lot about never giving up. He said, at times we may wonder why you keep doing it and why you continue to sacrifice so much time and dedication to the profession. Well, today is that reminder of why you do it. Today's a celebration of your sacrifice, your leadership, and your mentorship.
And by sticking with, that hard work and stuff, who knows? You could become the next James Earl Jones.
Exactly. So 978-1077. If you have anybody in your family who struggles with stuttering and you have any tips for other families who may have a kid or a family member who struggles with that as well, and you can help them overcome that, give us a call. We'd love to talk to you.
1077 RKR is the Rock and Morning Show with Meatball.
And Mark Frankhouse.
With the presidential election coming up this year, I wanted to dig into Michigan's history with presidents. And as I'm sure most people know, we have only had one from the state of Michigan. There's Gerald Ford. But in looking this up, I found out that we may have one president, but we have twice as many presidential assassins from Michigan.
Right.
There have been 4 presidential assassins in U.S. history. You know 2 of them for sure, Lincoln and Kennedy. Are you aware of the other 2, Mark?
Shoot. Is James Garfield one of them?
James Garfield is one of them.
James Garfield and, shoot, I can't remember. Is it before or after James Garfield?
After. Almost, like 20 years, almost exactly.
Is Benjamin Harrison?
No. William McKinley.
Oh, William McKinley. Okay.
Yeah. So, of the 4 presidential assassinations in the country, half of them were performed by Michiganders.
Oh, geez.
First, Charles J. Guiteau, who was from Ann Arbor. He wanted to be in politics. He kind of was, but he was like that guy in the group that he never really was qualified to lead in any big jobs, but he was still kind of there, Well, he wanted to be the U.S. consul in Paris, but everyone in the elected party told him he wasn't qualified to do it. He took that as because he was in a different party and a different member of the party, that's why he kept getting turned away, not because he wasn't qualified. So, despite not having any issues with James Garfield personally, he decided the only way he was going to get what he wanted was to shoot and kill him.
Wow.
That was clearly a disturbed man. But there's Michigander number one. Number two, the second was Leon F. Czolgosz. He was a Polish-American who was first generation, born in Detroit in the late 1800s. He had an issue with how the labor forces were being treated when he was an adult. He had multiple manufacturing jobs and labor jobs, and he got fired from almost all of them, but not because of like bad work or anything. It was because of economic crashes and job cuts. Well, he joined the Knights of the Golden Eagle, which was a very aggressive labor union back in the day, took part in a number of violent labor protests, and came to the conclusion that President McKinley, despite being very popular amongst the people, was the enemy of good working people. That's a direct quote. So during a meet and greet event in 1901 in Buffalo, he walked up to shake McKinley's hand and pulled a gun on him instead.
Good Lord.
He was born in Detroit.
That is out of control, man.
Yeah. Two people who very definitely misplaced their grievances with a single person who I don't believe had much effect on their issue. Mm-hmm. You know, I understand being frustrated about the workforce situation, but offing the president is not the answer to that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just wrong.
But yeah, it was wild to me to learn that 2 of the 4 assassinations on U.S. presidents came from Michiganders, one from Ann Arbor and one from Detroit. You can read more on these guys now at WRKR.com and over on the 107.7 RKR app. But yeah, Michigan, not a great track record when it comes to president production. We're currently the only state in the negative. So we got 1 president forward and 2 presidents back. So we're -1 in that field, which is impressive in the worst possible.
Out of the deepest corners and the darkest ends of this world. From the Michigan Dogman to Bigfoot, the Melonheads of Allegan County, and people from Ohio. This is Weird Ass Wednesday.
Well, Mark, I'm sure you're aware the internet is a weird and strange place. There's some weird and strange people on there, and with that, even more weird and strange trends popping up by the day. But on YouTube, believe it or not, one of the most popular forms of content consumption is pretty disgusting. Originating as a trend in Korea, there is something called a mukbang. And no, it's not some like dirty, inappropriate thing. It is unfortunately, a form of entertainment, I guess, where the content creator eats a meal and interacts with their audience. Now, in Korean, it more or less translates to, translates to eating broadcast.
Okay.
But of course, the internet has to bastardize everything. Mukbangs have now become literal videos of people eating massive amounts of food, usually very quickly, and it's usually some form of like junk food, and people just watch this.
Yeah. Man.
There's a form of entertainment, and they have, if there is this form of entertainment, there has to be a king or a queen of said form of entertainment, in this case, mukbangs. The king of mukbangs is allegedly a gentleman called Nikocado Avocado. He's notorious for the massive amount of food that he would eat and consume on his broadcasts, and even the speed at which he would eat the food while still interacting with his audience. Sometimes it was just conversation stuff, and then sometimes it was like a specific topic in mind. 5 years ago, Nikocado began his mukbang journey, and over the years, people noticed that he went from a slight 130 or 40 pound frame ballooning to well over 300 pounds.
Wow.
Becoming more and more eccentric with every video he posted. The past 2 years in particular, he put on more than 100 to 150 pounds and began receiving an incredible amount of hate and shaming from people about his size and his health habits. As of a couple of weeks ago, he was topping out well over 350 pounds in his videos. Or, at least we thought he was. Last week, Nikocado Avocado posted a video of himself titled 2 Steps Ahead in which he introduced himself via audio while the image of a very skinny person wearing a giant panda head was on screen. The person removed the panda head, and there was Nikocado Avocado down 250 pounds,
Whoa.
seemingly in one day. Literally, the day before, he posted a video where he was 350 pounds doing his normal mukbangs.
Yeah.
He had been recording for years worth of mukbang content at a time. And once he got to his heaviest about 2 years ago, he stopped recording and began working on his health. 2 years. He has been posting videos of himself getting fatter and fatter and fatter, meanwhile actually working on his health behind the scenes.
I don't know how you eat that much food ahead of time.
Yeah, that was insane. So why did he do this? He said it was a social experiment. Quote, while everybody pointed and laughed at me for over-consuming food, I was in total control the entire time. In reality, people are completely absorbed with internet personalities and obsessively watch their content. That is where a deeper level of overconsumption lies. And it's the parallel I wanted to make.
Wow.
So it's more important to watch what you consume online versus what you're consuming food-wise. And then, of course, he went right back to performing his normal mukbang. So
that's wild. So he just trolled everybody,
just
basically.
Trolled everybody. A 2-year-long payoff. That is unbelievable. But, 2 years of pre-recorded content and boom, skinny Nikocado one day. So maybe, that's what I'm going to use for my excuse from now on, is that I'm actually just 2 years behind in my health journey as well. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, I'm feverishly working on myself. And one day I will reveal it to the world.
I don't know if I'm going to record it, but I think I'm going to do the same thing at BC Pizza today, who is our sponsor for Weird Ass Wednesday. And you guys should definitely show BC Pizza some love. They had to close down yesterday because our friend Zoe had a little bit of a health scare. We don't know what happened, but we do know that she's doing good. Things are going well. And these people are literally core Kalamazoo company.
Yeah.
So definitely support them today. They've got the buffet going on today. So that's what I'm hitting up. I'm not going to record it because nobody needs to see me eating 20 pieces of pizza, but it will happen. Again, support BC Pizza off West Main in Kalamazoo. They are our Weird Ass Wednesday sponsors.
107.7 RKR is the Rocker Morning Show with Meatball.
And Mark Frankhouse.
There is a Michigan college that was ranked among the best and most sober in the country. In Michigan. We're no Wisconsin, but still, we do love to drink here. We knew that Michigan State has long been on top of the best partying schools.
Yeah.
They're usually pretty close to the top every year. So Michigan gets recognition for that a lot. But did you know that we have one of the most sober colleges in the country as well?
No.
Ironically, it's in Beer City. It's in Grand Rapids. And it's Calvin University.
Well, that would make sense.
Yeah.
It's a private Christian university.
Yeah. Oh, I know. But I mean, there's some private Christian universities that are not so wholesome. Anyway, they were ranked as one of America's 11 best sober colleges in Cured Nation. In fact, they ranked number 7 on the list. It has a strict no consumption, no possession policy on campus, which also extends to marijuana and other drugs as well. They take it very seriously, even putting out a student conduct code for punishment to those who violate the rules.
Wow.
I tried finding what the punishment was, and I could not find it. I'm sure it's in the student handbook somewhere, but I'm not a student there, and I don't have that handbook. So, yeah. Sober University, would you do that?
No.
Just plain and simple. No.
Absolutely not. No. I mean, I didn't get wild or anything because I didn't really go to traditional university.
Right.
But I would imagine somebody who's going to a private Christian university is, not very much a partier.
Yeah.
Betsy DeVos actually graduated from there.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that kind of explains some stuff. You can read up on Calvin College on the app and at WRKR.com. I'll be honest, really good for these kids that go to Calvin and take it seriously. I'm clearly not one of those kids. Never was. Mm-hmm. But given my grades when I was in college, I think I think alcohol actually helped my education. Because my best year, I got a 3.9 GPA. It was my sophomore year in college. I don't have a single memory of going to class that year. I clearly did. But that was apparently my recovery time between parties.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm realizing that apparently trash can Kool-Aid and Sailor Jerry rum was my genius juice in school.